The DA handing the ANC massive electoral defeats across the country. The support of the EFF and Action SA giving the DA the right push. The party taking the metros of Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg and Tshwane. Today, the leader, John Steenhuisen, the DA national leadership and the party's newly elected mayors from metros and municipalities in different parts of the country have been convened for a governance workshop. Our reporter Govan Whittles is following that story for us now. Good afternoon, Govan. I understand you are with Mr. Steenhuisen at this hour.
I am indeed, Bradan, and they've introduced more than 20 mayors from across the country, which will be governing on the DA's behalf in different municipalities. The highlights, of course, in the metros and in many of the hung municipalities, the DA's in government and the mayoral chair because of what the DA has described as unsolicited votes from the EFF. John Steenhuisen is the leader of the DA. He joins me to talk about the introduction of the mayors and some more issues. John, so you've said you won't govern with a gun to your head, referring to the EFF support of the DA. What does that look like in practical terms in those councils? Does it mean you're not listening to them?
No, not at all. I think that they're going to be a party in the council. And as I've said, we're a listening party, and particularly in a multi-party government, you have to listen to all voices. And we will listen to any proposals that they bring to the table as councillors in that municipality. No party has a monopoly on good ideas. What we have said, though, is that their support was not a quid pro quo for us giving any positions, any administrative tokens, or any official positions within the municipality to them. So they will remain a party in the council, and as a listening government we will listen, and where they come up with good ideas we will look at implementing those. But we just won't be sharing government with them at the municipal level.
So does that mean the DA will be implementing ideas that it agrees with, or how do you distinguish between those and what would have been manifesto promises by the EFF that it wants implemented?
We will implement ones which we believe as the multi-party coalition is a good idea. I think that there's good ideas that come from all parties, and where they align with our values and principles and with our program of action that the multi-party coalition will be implementing, there's no reason why you should close off ideas. But what we're not going to be doing is dancing to the tune of the EFF. And I think Julius Malema was very clear yesterday. There was no deal. There is no coalition. They've given us their votes so that DA mayors could get elected. We're going to use that to form governments and govern in a pro-poor way in which we are able to uplift people in those municipalities and focus like a laser beam on service delivery.
So you're saying that you're likely for minority governments, but you're hoping to turn those into majority governments. How do you envision that happening? So
in places like Joburg, for instance, there's a number of parties that we are talking to that if they come on board will form a majority government, and they will be part of the coalition. In Tshwane as well, that is also the case. Obviously it's a bit more difficult in Ekurhuleni because the numbers are a little bit more complex there, but I believe that we can form stable majority opposition-led multi-party coalitions in both Johannesburg and Tshwane, and we're seeking to do that, and those talks are continuing with those various parties.
You've introduced more than 20 mayors, a number of them from hung municipalities coming into government. Are you concerned that their stay in the mayorship may be short-lived?
Well, as I've said very clearly over the last few days, it doesn't matter whether we're in office for 5 minutes, 5 days, or 5 months or 5 years. While we're in those offices, we're going to govern in a way in which inspires confidence, which brings clean, accountable government, and where we govern according to our values and principles. And I've said very, very clearly as well that we're not going to cling to government at all costs. If it can't work, if we are forced to choose between governing by our principles and abandoning those principles, we're more than happy for any of those mayors to go and take up their seat as the leader of the opposition in those councils and serve the people of those municipalities there.
The need to form mayoral councils is becoming urgent, and you don't have much time to negotiate. How far off do you believe you are from reaching these coalition agreements to form those mayoral committees?
Yeah, well, I think it's an unfortunate feature of our politics, and we're going to have to look at this as coalitions become the wave of the future, is that the time space is very limited. In many other countries, these discussions take months. We're limited here. I think they're progressing well. I think that in the coming fortnight we should be able to announce hopefully stable majority governments there and set out very clearly what those makos look like.
Lastly, John, there's been an announcement of a new variant which has come into South Africa, and there's some comments from the Cape Town Mayor, Jordan Hill-Lewis, that he believes may have been premature for that announcement to be made, given the impact on tourism over the festive season. Do you think they should have held back on announcing that new variant in South Africa?
Well, I think it should have been a bit more responsibly handled. I mean, it's essentially throwing a hand grenade into the room without actually fully understanding what the consequences are. I think that scientists have said it takes some time to do the testing. I'm not sure the due diligence has been done yet. And this has got serious consequences for South Africa. We now find ourselves on the red list of a number of countries where people are not going to be able to travel over the festive season. It's going to have a massive impact on tourism coming into South Africa over the festive period. I do believe there could have been a little bit more circumspection. It looks like it's been more of a knee-jerk reaction than a considered approach. And I certainly hope that there will be more information that emerges in the coming weeks and months. I just hope it hasn't come at the cost of what many people are hanging on to of a festive season that's going to see some of the economy revived.
All right, thank you so much. That's John Steenhuisen. He's the leader of the Democratic Alliance and he's just unveiled the mayor's here, and you heard it there, Bradan. They'll govern, but they won't be held hostage by the EFF, and they're happy to go into opposition if that means that is the case, with the EFF withdrawing its support. It's back to you.